My mom is hilarious. My dad, my old man, he was really a very stoic man, and would do things like I used to like when I was in my when I was on the sketch show Mad TV years ago. I was anyway, I would go home and visit them, and I would be like, "Hey, Dad, who am I pretending to be here?" He's like, "I don't know. You're the guy. The funny guy. I don't know who he is." Yeah, but it's yeah, you sing and make a funny joke. Look, you got glasses. I'm like, I'm Randy Newman. Do you know who that? No, I don't know. It's like, who's this? Yeah. You are Bill Clinton. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's funny. My mom would love to laugh at anything. One of my joys in life was watching America's Funniest Home Videos, because anyone falls down.
Right.
So she was a wonderful audience. And growing up in Ladner and in Canada was great. Canada socially is a country that I feel like is very satirical. We there's a lot of things socially about the country that are very different than the United States and other parts of the world. We're a weird mix of American and sort of our UK Commonwealth ties and origins. Yeah. So, I think that's why there's a lot of comedy people coming out of Canada. And growing up there, it was like, really, it was the currency. And I use that term like to be funny and to make your friends laugh and stuff like that. It was a wonderful, I'm very fortunate where I grew up.
And what was your, I guess, big break? How did you started acting?
Well, I was always interested in it, and I knew I wanted to be an actor since before I was conscious of it. Like when I was, 5 years old, I was like, that's what I'm going to do. And then I booked my first part when I was 16 on a Canadian TV show, and I did 3 episodes of that. And then I was so fortunate and that was like a summer job. Like I remember, I guess it was at the end of the 9th or 10th grade or something. And I did 3 episodes of the show, and then I got the next gig and the next gig, and I just, nobody's figured out that I have no talent yet. Here we are.
Were your
Where's
parents,
that guitar?
Parents supportive of this career, or like seeing you doing all of that? Were they okay with it, or because a lot of immigrant parents are like, oh, go to college, do this,
right? Well, yeah, it was definitely like, they're part of they're in the new world, and they're like, what are we doing here, and what's our kid doing? Let me give my parents a lot of credit. They really were like, if you love something and you work hard, what the heck are we going to have to say about it? My old man was an adventurer. That guy was like, he's in the Navy and stuff, going here and there, learning how to speak English in the bottom of a boat at night via correspondence, getting to a port, trading the books in. He didn't really, he was a very passionate, hardworking guy. My mom is the toughest person I've ever known. Passionate, hardworking, really free-thinking weirdos who were like, you do what you want, you better work hard. And no, they never told, there was no family business to be, like, you're going to come here and work here.
Right.
You're going to work at the family firm. You're going to be a doctor or a lawyer. There was none of that. My brother and sister and I are all in very different avenues professionally. And so I have to give them a lot of credit. Part of that also is, I think when you're an immigrant, you have no idea what this new world is. Mm-hmm. Where are you from originally, if you don't mind me asking? From Spain. Super.
Right.
Your folks in your family out there?
Yeah? Everybody's back home.
Yeah. And I would imagine they're not going to tell you a whole lot about what you're doing here. They're just going to ask questions.
Right. I don't show them what I'm doing here.
Okay. That's probably good. I feel that way.
Yeah.
I feel that way too. Like, where it's like, they couldn't, once I started working and stuff, my parents were like, I don't know what he's doing.
Right.
And you kind of explain it to them. And, my mom, I remember one time, my mom would always say, tell me some, I'm down here. She would always say, tell me some good news. And I go, well, Mom, the good news is I have a roof over my head, and I'm, like you don't just get good news all the time in the business, but I'm, the bills are paid, and I'm so fortunate to, be in this business and stuff. Yeah, tell me some good news. And then I remember one time I had some good news, right? I just this thing we were going to do, and I was like, oh, well, Mom, this and that. Now we're doing this thing. Yeah. Did you eat? Today? So my parents love me for me.
Right.
And they're wonderful people, and they don't really understand. I love telling them about it because you get their sort of, these are people who my parents grew up during World War II, and they have a point of view that I could never have. So when they give you this real like base level of advice and understanding, there are things that are just completely invaluable to me that they've told me. So I always liked telling them about it.
Yeah.
So I could get their take on it because I value their take. But I was fortunately extremely free to go, oh, I'm going to be an actor. Then I book a thing, and then I'm on a series in Canada as a teenager. I was doing this like dramatic series for a number of years that was like, I always describe it as sort of like, I don't know. It was sort of like it was called Madison, and it was like a Degrassi kind of show. Mm-hmm. And it was sort of like My So-Called Life, where we're dealing with these kids' lives at home and at school and this and that. And then, I started working on some American stuff, and then started coming out here to LA. And then the further it went, the less my parents would understand about any of it.
Right. And how was that transition to the US?
It was fine.
Yeah. When I saw you on a Doctor Who episode.
Yeah.
That
I did a Doctor Who TV movie.
Yeah. Just before Mad TV.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
97.
Yeah.
I think
that came out. I think that came out in 96 or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think I read the reviews of that show and made me think, what was the worst review you ever had, or any funny insult that people gave you because of war, like your I guess shit sandwich of
my shit sandwich,
yeah,
which is the best review. You can't print that. Where did they print that? You can't print that. My shit sandwich. I've had so many shit sandwiches. I try not to read reviews of things. Mm-hmm. Having said that, most of the time I'm so far down the call sheet that no one's dealing with my performance anyway. So even if I read something, I go, look, you guys, they really hate what you did. Right. I'm never going to know whether they cared for what I did or not, because I'm the,
the morgue intern.
I'm the morgue intern, or I'm the one of the two friends who's like, hey, you know what you should do? And there's really no way to review someone who's like, I got an idea, you should do this. That's my character from a lot of things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't mind reading reviews. The worst review, I mean, they're just, I don't know. They don't really stick to me because I don't mind it, because I'm like, a lot of the times I'm like, yeah, that was shitty.
Right.
Yeah, I know. It was shitty.
It never affected you to like keep going and all that.
No, because to me, it's like, wow, if I'm working on something that's like, I think this is hilarious. I can't believe I got to be a part of this thing that is so great. Then I'm like, I don't care what anyone thinks. But a lot of the times you're working on stuff that sucks. And you're like, no, I know it's bad. So I don't read it going, why you? And then obsess over it. I just kind of agree and go, it was terrible. Yeah, I know. What the fuck?
Right.
What the fuck's wrong with you? This is show business. 90% of everything sucks. What do you mean?
Right. So you felt like fortunate that, okay, I get opportunity to keep working. That's
absolutely.
Who has that?
And then, yeah. And then every once in a while there's Breaking Bad, and we can all agree on it and go, I wasn't in Breaking Bad. And then go like, that is incredible. Wow, that's like the best show. And everyone else thinks so because it's great. Yeah. So then, people aren't going to give it any bad reviews. And you're gonna if you bother to read a review of Breaking Bad, you're not gonna remember that either, because it's like, yeah, it's great. Well, no, I know it's great. I know it's great.
Right.
This is me holding a tablet or a magazine, by the way.